Hey everybody, it's Henry from Conley Coaster Designs coming back with another video. This will be a partial construction update. It's mostly going to focus on the Haunt Building and Fury 325, along with what we can expect next now that the fireworks are done and the 4th of July Spectacular is all said and done. So, jumping right into the Haunt Building. They are making very fast-paced fast timeline with getting this new Haunt Building built, and really still don't have an idea of what to expect for a theme. Don't have an idea of what to expect for the name, but it's looking pretty interesting. Right now on the Haunt Building, and of course the last photos I have were taken on Tuesday, just before the fireworks. The Haunt Building has a black underlayer. I thought the black on the facade of this was going to be the actual color of that new tall facade area, but it's not going to be. And as I'll show in a second here, they have started to overlay a pattern over top of it, which looks pretty cool and looks a lot better than the black. But there's also a teal color in there, so I'm wondering if we're getting some sort of run downtown feel to it or something. We'll have to speculate on that as we get more information. But as you can see in the photos, at the Haunt Building, there has been a bunch of truss work showing up. Now, this is very similar to lighting truss that I'm very familiar with. It is not just in the stacks that you see there, but in the next couple photos, you'll see them actually inside what was a open, I guess, corridor or open area between the U of the building that they've now enclosed. They have this truss work. They also have inside of there, and you can kind of see it on the right side there, they also have some long corrugated tubing. Now on the left side of the photo here, you see another part of the outside of the building they have now enclosed. There are two windows which look almost like they have prison bars on them. I didn't get a close enough photo to be able to verify that, and honestly I'm forgetting what was on there originally, as Chase makes an entrance into the video again. So they're really making the Haunt Building a little bigger, and they're adding more space to this. As you'll see, they have that girder work laid out. It looks like a giant eye right now, so I'll be interested to see what comes of that. Whether we're going to get some sort of fancy lighting effects in there, maybe some projections. Maybe they're going to tap into some of the crazier projections that exist within the Haunt world and within the Haunt industry to really add a new immersive layer to this Haunt. Again, spitballing and speculating here, but you can see this tall black structure in the front here. I saw the black and I originally thought, okay, this is going to be an interesting facade to the front, just all black building. But that's not going to be it. As I said, there's two corrugated tubes within this area. Again, this was a U-shaped building, and this is like a open air area between the two extensions of the building. And as you can see, they still have work to do on the facade on the front of the building that's closest to the queue line for the Haunt. The lifts are still on site, which means what I said in one of the earlier videos when the lifts showed up, that this might not be for the 2024 coaster. It's looking more and more like it is not for the 2024 coaster. It is, in fact, for building these really large facades, which I love seeing them go all out on. Hopefully they don't end up like some of the other facades that are various Haunt buildings throughout Dorney where there's gaps and cracks in them, which I did see a maintenance truck buy one of these structures, one of the other Haunts the other day when we were there. So hopefully they're going to begin working on sealing up some of those cracks and things like that and making the facades look really nice. So again, just a zoomed in photo of the framework that's still on the front of that building, along with some various pieces that I'm assuming have been cut to be installed. We'll have an update on this when we get up to the park on Sunday. And finally, you're going to see what they've begun adding to the facade of this haunt building, which is a brickwork structure. It's very old-timey feeling. Again, I'm having a very tough time trying to figure out what the theme of this haunt is going to be. Either way, it's going to be a very beautiful facade. With the truss work in there, I'm really, really interested to see what comes of it and what they turn it into, because as it sits right now, it's kind of really generating some interest for me. I really can't wait to see how this ties in with the new coasters building. Could this brickwork be what we see on the station? Could this teal be what we see on the track work? You know, there's a lot of things to wonder about here, and it really gets us excited when we start talking about the 2024 coaster, especially, again, as Ryan from Dorney Park PR stated at the ACE event, that the haunt building will have some sort of tie-in with the new coaster. I wonder if this brick facade is the first of those tie-ins, and we're going to see a older themed building that houses the station. Who knows? We're going to see that as it comes up. And once we get past talking about the fireworks, I'm going to talk about where all of this is heading coming up. So, of course, it was 4th of July. Beautiful day at the park on Tuesday. Very warm day at the park. And a very crowded day at the park. But as usual, Dorney Park put on an amazing fireworks show. There were two mortars that blew up practically right above the ground. I'm going to assume the company that does the fireworks is using some sort of computer launching system. Because I did not hear any boo-boo wagons making their way down that way, so kudos to them and good job on the whole team, security, fire, EMS, everybody for keeping park guests safe, keeping the crew safe that's launching the fireworks, and of course keeping all the beautiful wildlife and the roller coasters and everything else in that area safe. So the fireworks, just to give a quick tie-in to what I'm going to talk about after this brief video I got of the fireworks were launched from the Necropolis building, which is why I don't think we've seen track support, but we will talk tracks or supports delivered, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Let's enjoy some fireworks. So, I didn't get the finale. And I didn't get the finale mainly because my jaw was on the floor. Again, it was a very great fireworks show. Always nice to see Dorney Park put on this fireworks show. It's one of the more impressive ones, in my opinion, just because of how beautiful the park is. I know Six Flags Great Adventure has just announced that they're going to be doing their Friday and Saturday night weekly fireworks shows are going to return. But those fireworks shows are not nearly as cool as Dorney Park's fireworks shows, which are awesome to see. Now, let's talk about Project 2024. Let's talk about the new roller coaster, because that's what these videos are all about right now, and that's what I hope you guys keep coming back to my videos for. Again, the fireworks were launched from the Necropolis area of the park, and as anybody that goes to 4th of July at Dorney knows, they section off a whole area. You can't get on Steel Force, you can't get on Revolution, you cannot get on Thunderhawk during the fireworks and in the lead up to the fireworks because they have a huge exclusion zone. So, that is why I think we have not seen track or supports on site. I think they have probably scheduled their deliveries and worked everything with Bollinger and Mabillard and Claremont Steel and the trucking companies that'll bring track and supports out, so that way nothing arrived at the park prior to the fireworks. That way there was no risk of any of the track or supports getting damaged, no risks of any crates that are being shipped in from overseas being damaged. But now that the fireworks are out of the way, we are now well into July. I believe we are now going to start seeing track and supports arrive on site. I believe we'll start to see the various phases of construction begin. I believe, if I remember correct, looking at the construction documents, the first phase is going to be dealing with them protecting some of the drains from runoff and everything, and installing various protectors across the drains. So the moment we see that, it's really going to start progressing from there. The construction for this ride is being done in such a way that Phase 2 of construction cannot be done until Phase 1 is fully completed and inspected and reviewed by all parties involved in the construction. Phase 3 will follow it, all so forth and so on. So once we start seeing track and supports on site, once we start seeing things happening with the drainage systems, once we start seeing earth being moved, we are going to be rolling forward with this ride's construction. But again, we're looking for Phase 1 right now, which again, I believe it was something to do with protecting the drains and everything like that. So keep an eye out when you're at the park, when you're looking at this area that will be housing, or will be home to the brand new 2024 roller coaster, because that's going to be really the indicator that construction has started moving forward. I took a look on Sunday and Tuesday. I do not see any of the drain protections that I have looked into. So that has not begun yet. And again, track and supports aren't on site, but now that fireworks are done, I believe they will arrive on site. Now, tying this into Fury 325, because we can. They are both Bollinger and Mabillard roller coasters. They both go through the same engineering firm. Their steel will be and was manufactured by the same company. Everything about them is literally the same from a manufacturing standpoint, outside of course, the complex engineering that goes into building a 325-foot tall roller coaster and a 161-foot tall roller coaster. But a while back in a previous video, I speculated that they were probably waiting on returns of analysis and soil sampling to verify that the roller coaster would be supported by the land it is on. Now, tying this into Fury 325 and Ryan the Ride Mechanic, if you don't know his YouTube, if you've never watched his YouTube, go watch it. And in fact, watch his Fury 325 video update, because that video gave me a lot of insight from the perspective of a ride mechanic as to what potentially happened with Fury 325, what will happen with Fury 325, and then it was able to cause me to reflect on some of the things I've said about this land and this project. I said, again, that they were probably waiting on soil sampling, they were probably waiting on some sort of scientific or geological report on that area of land to ensure that the roller coaster would be supported by the land. Ryan the Ride Mechanic, in talking about Fury 325's fracture, at this point we might as well just call it what it is, he speculated that the inside support, the one that's at a 45-degree angle, possibly had its footer sink. And if its footer sank, that it would have put the stresses on the roller coaster that would have caused the fracture. Bollinger and Mabillard, they are geniuses when it comes to designing roller coasters. They are a world-class designer. They design some of the safest and most reliable roller coasters in the industry. They are looking at everything when it comes to this park. Again, this ride. Again, this plot of land has held two different roller coasters, Laser and Stinger. One was a portable, one was a hard-installed roller coaster. This area of the park also housed the world's largest swimming pool at one point. There is a lot of factors to take into consideration on this land, especially when it comes to how far you dig down to put footers in and how big those footers are. So I would assume that we're probably well past that phase at this point. I would assume that we are probably perfectly well and good Or else I'm sure Dorney Park would have broke our hearts by now and told us, guess what, 2024, we're getting another bench and trash can. So, I'm going to assume we're way past that phase, but it ties in the Fury 325. Now, speaking on Fury 325, let's get into a quick Fury 325 update, again referencing some of the stuff that Ryan the Ride Mechanic said. So, we officially have an announcement from Carowinds, and it is an announcement of what will be happening with Fury 325. It is not an announcement of when Fury 325 will be reopening. In my video on that, I said it could be months, it could be the rest of the year. Who knows? And I think that we still don't know that. And per Ryan the Ride Mechanic's video, we also aren't sure. Ryan the Ride Mechanic is pretty sure that this will be shut down for the rest of the year. Now, so far at Fury 325, the fracture has been welded together. Well, there's been plates welded on around the structure of that support, kind of holding the pieces together. I would assume that's so they can safely unbolt this thing and actually pull it down. And in fact, in one of the photos I saw today, it already looks like the track's unbolted from the support. In this little piece of information, we have found out that B&M, who's been on site for a couple days now, they have conducted a thorough inspection of the entire track, support columns, and foundation. And in addition, with partnership from B&M, they have performed a battery of tests to identify the cause of the fracture, which appears to have formed along a weld in the steel column. Now, they don't say whether the support sinking caused that, so it's still up in the air what caused that fracture in the weld. But they are currently fabricating a new support column that is probably being fabricated out at Claremont Steel in Ohio. It's expected to be delivered to the park next week. All well and good. They can install that pretty fast. As long as they don't have to, redo the foundation or anything, they can have a support column installed within a day. Maybe 2 days at the most. That's okay. There is still a battery of tests that have to be done on Fury 325. They're going to be doing tests that will include accelerometer, or an accelerometer test that uses sensors measuring any variation in ride experience. Then they plan to run this ride for full 500 cycles, performing tests and inspections throughout the entire ride throughout that. That's potentially going to be a very long process, depending upon how thorough they are going to go with inspecting that track. If we're going to see them run 10 cycles and then get guys back out there on the track climbing all over this thing, we're talking about possibly weeks worth of testing. After that, B&M and a third-party testing firm are going to do a final inspection to ensure the ride exceeds all of their required specifications. And then from there, the North Carolina Department of Labor's Elevator and Amusement Device Bureau will do a full inspection of the roller coaster as well before opening. So it doesn't give us a time frame. There's a lot that has to be done on Fury 325 still before it can even reopen. So I'm still saying we're months out. I haven't seen an update from Ryan the Ride Mechanic yet. I would assume that he's probably holding firm on that, and as a ride mechanic at a park with multiple B&M roller coasters, I'm sure, will have the best insight into this outside of talking to B&M or Carowinds or North Carolina's specialized bureau on this. Guess what? We're not going to talk to any of those three, so Ryan the Ride Mechanic's probably our best bet. So, Fury 325. It'll be coming back. Might be later in this season. Might not be next season, after all, but it'll be coming back. Anyway, with Conley Coaster Designs, my name is Henry Conley. Stay safe. Ride some roller coasters. Let's have some fun. Remember something. If you are someone that looked at what happened on Fury 325, understand that you are perfectly safe on any roller coaster out there. They are safer than any car that you drive to a park in. They are safer than any train that you ride to the park in. They're a lot safer than even planes, okay? These rides are meticulously looked over every single season, every single day. The trains are broken down to every bolt, nut, and washer, every little pin, to verify that they are safe for you to be on. So if you looked at that fracture and you got scared to ride roller coasters, tuck that fear in the back of your head and hop on a roller coaster. Pull those restraints down, plug the seatbelt in, and let yourself just be under control of one of the best machines in an amusement park today. Anyway, I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good one.